Hello everyone, and welcome to another Origins of Expressions. Today we'll be going over the phrases bury the hatchet, a tough row to hoe, to throw a wrench in the works. What do they all have in common? They're all phrases and idioms around tools. Let's get right to work and start this video. Tools. Those objects that make tasks easier. Tools have changed and adapted over time. The first tools were made in the Stone Age and Bronze Age. Throughout history, people have made many new and more complicated tools. Since tools have been a very important part of our lives for so long and have advanced us so far as a civilization, it is no surprise that we see tools play a part in our literature also. Today we'll explore 3 idioms where tools are the subject. Let's not waste any time as we work our way to our first phrase. Bury the hatchet. Bury the hatchet means to settle your differences with an enemy. Let's just bury the hatchet. Okay, when you think of hatchet, do you think of Native Americans? Well, if you do, you are right. This is an expression that really happened. Hatchets were buried by the chiefs of tribe when they came to a peace agreement. We refer to them as the hatchet burying ceremony. It is said that the practice of burying a hatchet predates the settlement of the Americas, but we do not see anything written down until 1644 in Jesuit Relations. It translates to say, proclaim that they wish to unite all the nations of the earth, and to hurl the hatchet so far into the depths of the earth that it shall never again be seen in the future. The first time we see bury the hatchet is in the History of the 5 Indian Nations of Canada, written in 1747 by Cadwallader Golden, Esquire. It reads, send back likewise some of the prisoners of these nations, if you have any left, to bury the hatchet, and to make a covenant chain. Today we still use this phrase to say that we want to stop fighting and move on. An example sentence is, after many quarreling years, the 2 political parties finally decided to bury the hatchet. Well, I'm glad they can communicate without fighting. Let's let them continue their conversation while we move into our next phrase. A tough row to hoe. A tough row to hoe means having a daunting task to perform. Wow, that was a tough row to hoe. This phrase comes from the farming and gardening communities. To hoe a row is to turn a line of soil for the planting of seeds or bulbs. The idiom tough row to hoe describes a large, challenging task. A literal tough row to hoe might be one that is long or that involves hoeing dirt with lots of rocks or roots. A figurative tough row to hoe is any large undertaking that is especially difficult. The first time we see this in writing used as an idiom is in 1810 in the New York Spectator. It reads, true, we have a hard row to hoe. 'Tis plaguey unlucky the feds have taken him up. We do see some instances where the words are messed up a bit when the phrase is being used, and people hear and say a tough road to hoe, but that is usually just a misunderstanding. Today, we still might hear tough row to hoe, but it is not as common as it used to be. If you hear it, it means someone has a long and daunting task that has to be done, and it might take a while. An example sentence is, I know finishing this thesis will be a tough row to hoe, but I'm actually looking forward to the challenge. Well, let's let them finish their paper as we move into our next phrase. To throw a wrench in the works. To throw a wrench in the works means to deliberately or otherwise cause disruption, to interfere with the smooth running of something. Well, we just threw a wrench in the works. Throw a wrench in the works is an American version of this idiom. The British version is throw a spanner in the works. Wrench or monkey wrench is simply the American name for a spanner. Both idioms mean the same thing. It can also be said to throw a wrench in the wheels or throw a wrench in the gears, anything that can cause a disturbance. This phrase has been said to be used and coined by the people of New Zealand. This is due to the oil prospectors. It is a story from Wangamamana, which is a township on New Zealand's northern island. There is a plaque displayed at the site of what claims to be the oldest oil well in the world. It reads, this is the site of the world's first oil well drilled here in 1828. Legend has it that Mr. Ewan McGregor set up the derrick and drilled a hole 700 feet deep. All was going well, and signs of an oil strike were imminent, when his son Jethro dropped a spanner down the hole. From this incident, the term "a spanner in the works" originated, and is now known worldwide. The spanner was not retrievable, so another hole was drilled, this time to 1,200 feet, where gas was struck. Alas, Ewan's other son Cletus fell into this hole, and ended all prospecting on the site. The first time we hear the phrase "throw a spanner in the works" is in P. G. Wodehouse's Right Ho Jeeves in 1934. It reads, "He should have had sense enough to see that he was throwing a spanner into the works." Today you'll hear this phrase, but it is not as common in North America. It is more common in Europe, where it is said as "throw a spanner in the works." Of course, spanner and wrench are interchangeable words. An example sentence is, "Since Jack has failed to show up for practice 2 days in a row, he has really thrown a wrench in the works. He'll never be ready for the big game." Well, they have a lot of practicing to do. Let's leave them and move on. Ooh, fun fact. Did you know that scissors have been around for about 4,000 years? Yep, that's right. The earliest known scissors appeared in Mesopotamia. They were of the spring scissor type, comprising two bronze blades connected at the handle by a thin, flexible strip of curved bronze, which served to hold the blades in alignment, allowing them to be squeezed together and to pull them apart when released. However, as handy as scissors are, they have a world of superstition attached to them. It's considered very bad luck to drop scissors, especially if they stick in the floor. Never attempt to retrieve scissors you have dropped yourself unless you stomp on them first. Never leave scissors with the blade open. It's unlucky to have scissors come apart during use. It is unlucky to give or receive scissors as a gift. It is unlucky to open and close scissors during a wedding. Never use scissors on New Year's Day. It's unlucky if you break both blades. It means disaster is impending. And a pair of scissors could be nailed open above a door to protect the home from witchcraft. Wow, scissors have a lot of superstition around them. Well, that's the information that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed learning about the origins of our idioms and phrases. I would love to have you subscribe if you did. It is much easier than hoeing a tough row. It's just hitting the button below. It's quick and easy, and I would really appreciate it. Oh yeah, quick question before you go. Do you know any idioms or phrases around tools? Maybe you know other idioms or phrases on an entirely different subject. I would love to see them. Leave them in the comments below. And you know, if I use one of the phrases, I'll give you a shout out. Thank you again for watching and subscribing. I really appreciate your support. Until next time, bye!